Hello and welcome back to my Eruption of Shame. Today we have April 2023's games, and I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible. Long story short, it looks like a good bundle. It does. So first game is Stranding, and this is one that I am not going to watch the trailer for. I know this may come as a shock, but the only thing I know about this game is literally the opening segments with the bloody walking simulator. I know nothing else about this game. I've managed to avoid it entirely. Will I like it? Who knows? Will I play it? Certainly. Am I happy to get it again, despite the fact I already owned it on Epic? Yes, because this is actually director's cut, so that's nice. I'm okay with this pickup. It's something I wouldn't have bought myself, and instead I just get it. So, yay! Next one is Aliens Fireteam Elite, an action RPG in the Aliens franchise. Now, it should be said, I've never been a massive fan of the Aliens franchise, horror and all that. But, I mean, if I'm going to get a game, I'd rather get it for free. So I, once again, consider this fairly good. Also says here, play with 2 players or as an AI as you battle through 4 campaigns. So it sounds like this will be a para game. Because Para also gets the humble choice, or the humble bundle, or the humble whatever it's called these days. So that's good. That's good. Next we have Rollerdrome, and this one looks really quite interesting. The art style is unique and just fun. It sort of feels a little bit limited in its scope, but at the same token, it's been well received and hopefully won't be too heavy on the sports control elements, because these games can be really fun, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, or they can be really annoyingly, obnoxiously difficult. So we'll find out what this one is, but based on its ratings and such, it should be fine. Now, it should also be said this is a perfect Humble Bundle fodder, because I've never heard of it before. It's $45. I would never have bought this otherwise. This is fantastic. Next one is Life is Strange 2. Another game that I really don't want to look at in any detail, because I haven't played Life is Strange 1 yet, and I want to, and I sort of just don't want any spoilers or any idea of what this sort of game actually is. So it's another game that I'm not going to look any more deeply into it, but I know it's once again, well-regarded game, like very well-regarded, and $48. So it's something I probably wouldn't have bought for a fairly long time. So that's nice. Next one is The Life and Suffering of Cervante, adventure indie RPG simulation. Looks like an interesting sort of like a choose your adventure rain style game. So that sounds fun. A little bit of maybe a almost roguelike element to it, but no. I just think there's just the aesthetic. But yeah, no, I like RPG. I like simulation. If this allows me to like build an empire or something, like just manage something, I'd be quite happy. It looks like it allowed me to be a kingdom manager, so maybe I was right with the original thing saying reigns. Fantastic. Now, this is one of the few games I actually do already have, and that's because I'm a Kickstarter backer to Monster Camp in general. So this is Monster Camp 2. You might look at this game and be like, I'm not interested in this. Okay, sorry if you're not interested in this, fair enough. I wasn't trying to play off on your voice there. But the point is, give it a chance. This game is wacky, it's weird, and it's actually quite a bit of fun. Very random, very, very random. But, yeah, good, interesting co-op story-based stuff there. Basically, your idea is it is a quote-unquote competitive dating sim. You don't actually need to compete against each other, and there's no real, like, punishment for losing. The idea being that basically you go through it multiple times in multiple ways, basically dating anyone you want to unlock new content. So, yeah, originally this game was meant to be smaller than Monster Camp 1. However, I believe it's about the same size these days. Very well rated, and for good reason. This is a good one to get even if you already own it, however, because it comes, it's a good multiplayer game, so you might need to give a second copy to your friend. So, yay. Merry Fushmas to all. Alright, Revita. This one is a roguelite sort of thing, from what I can tell. It says here, fast-paced twin-stick roguelike platformer. AKA, I'm going to suck at it, but I'm going to love it either way. So that sounds nice. Interesting aesthetic, if a little bit overused. $23, fairly well reviewed. Yeah, it's a decent pickup. And finally, we have Founder's Fortune, an indie simulation strategy game. Now, on first glance, that first image, it may have looked like a farming game, but this one feels more like a... more like a... well, hard to... It's more like a not Hearthstone, Stone Half sort of game, based on the fact that you're not really... You're sort of managing and building a town from scratch, and you're sort of building things. I don't know if it's I think it was building it on your own from scratch. So this is one of those games that's going to be quite a lot of work to get into, I believe. It looks okay though, and it was on my wish list, so I don't consider this a bad pickup either. Which does, of course, leave us with what might be the best bundle we've had from Humble in a very long time. So that's fantastic news, because the last couple of months have been okay. Well, 1 month had been, 1 month had been terrible. I definitely did not claim February 2023, which did put me off my thing, unfortunately, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, no, last bundle, last month's bundle was pretty good too, and this month is even better. So okay, I obviously realize that what happens here is not an indication of what will happen everywhere else, but it's still pretty good. Now, the next set of games is the Amazon Prime games, and there's actually not much point in me going to Amazon Prime right now, because unlike usual, or at least the last couple of times, there has not been a first Thursday. Okay. So none of the games are currently available on Amazon Prime. If you go to Amazon Prime, there's nothing but last month's games sitting there. Most of them are there to claim, so you might as well go and do it. The last game they released, though, was some crappy, one of those ones on that weird point-and-click adventures platform they have. But this time around, we have another batch of games coming. And quite frankly, I had to do a double take on this one, because I was like, some of these games are really weird. I had to do a double take on if it was even real or not. But yep, nope, it's real. The first end game and headliner of the next batch of Amazon Prime games is Wolfenstein: The New Order, which apparently will come to us as a GOG code, which is fantastic. I'm very happy to get a DRM-free version of Wolfenstein: New Order. Now, if you don't know what this is, really? Wolfenstein: The New Order is a modern, quote-unquote, reimagining of the original Wolfenstein. It's based in the same sort of a concept where you play the original hero of Wolfenstein. However, unlike in Wolfenstein, where you go all Rambo and kill Hitler, you fail. You fail quite badly. And instead of being able to be the hero that saves the day, you are the hero that is in bed, sleeping, and continues to sleep until after the war, where the Nazis have taken over pretty much everything. Now, the original Wolfenstein New Order was fantastic. It was phenomenal. It had amazing pacing. It's a great FPS. Even my dad ended up playing it until the final boss fight, where he couldn't make it through. But to be fair, that final boss fight can be a bit of a doozy. But yeah, no, this is actually a fantastic pickup if you do not already have it. And even if you do, being on GOG, that's a nice one right there. That's a very nice one. Now, the next is the first of the games which is less common, and that is the Neo Geo Ninja Commander for Windows. Now, you might be wondering, wait, why does it say Euros? You're not European. No, I'm not. It defaulted to that, unfortunately. I tried to change to my own country, and the blasted thing decided it wasn't available in my country, which is very likely. I don't even know. Maybe it is available on Steam, and I just can't see it for some reason. Probably licensing reasons. That's usually the way. But yes, this is the first of multiple arcadey games that is included this time, along with The Art of Fighting 3. Once again, they're going to give out as many of these as possible. This one, it sort of feels a little bit familiar. I'm wondering if I have a few of these already, because I know that Amazon Prime's basically slowly been giving out the entire Neo Geo set, even games which literally do not exist on PC at all, which is, quite frankly, pretty cool of them from a perspective of like game preservation, giving us copies of the game that work on a platform they never did before. Next one is a fuck you, Amazon. Actually, more of a fuck me, really, because Amazon is giving me a horror game. I almost wish I'll miss this, but I don't like missing any games. If there is a game, it needs to go on my mountain, and unfortunately, that will include The Beast Inside. This is going to be a GOG code as well, along with Wolfenstein, so pretty nice that we're getting a couple of GOG codes. However, I really am not looking forward to the eventual day I draw this from my mountain. Anyway, next game, Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition. Now, this is a remake of sorts of Icewind Dale. I played the original briefly, though it was definitely not as big on my list, on my radar, as Baldur's Gate was. That being said, alongside Baldur's Gate, they did make an Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition. And, yeah, I'm okay with that. Anything to play more CRPGs seems like a good deal. I'll have to go and have a little gander at it when we come time. Looking forward to that one. Always nice to get them for free. So, yay. Then we go back to arcade games with the Neo Geo Cross Swords. There's not much I can say here. This is an arcade RPG. I have never played it before. It doesn't even look remotely familiar. Interesting art style. Not a bad pickup, really. And next one is Ghost Pilots. Gives me a little bit of Raptor Claw of the Raptor Call of the Shadows vibes. Very much so. Because obviously it's an arcade game that did a very similar up-down. There were two types of these sort of shooters. One went sideways, like Tyrion, and I love... Oh, wait, no, Tyrion went up as well. No. Silly me. No, there was a bunch of old arcade games that went the other way around. I always preferred the ones that go straight, because A, they're easier to control, and B, they seem to have a bit more detail in them. So getting this one is pretty good. And once again, you might be like, why are you on the Switch store for these last two? Well, I couldn't find them on PC at all. I don't know if they're also on the Microsoft store, but like, yeah. Like, it feels like these games have been, like, they're just really hard to get. So, once again, getting them from Amazon, not a bad deal. Now, the next one is going to be Beholder 2, which felt a little bit, like, out of the rest of the group. But it gets weirder from here. I'm not sure why they'd give out Beholder 2. I think they gave out Beholder 1 at one point, so I guess it kind of makes sense in that regards. Beholder is essentially, as you may remember from my video, a game where you spy on people and record it and report them to the fascist government. It's a pretty horrible world. I did go back and continue playing Beholder 1 after the video, and I had a pretty good time with it. So I can say that getting Beholder 2 is fairly good if you don't already have it. I fortunately, do already own it on Steam, so I am looking forward to playing that when it finally gets rolled off my mountain. Now, this next one is the one that made me go and look up and check because it didn't seem right. And I still don't know if it's right. It's on multiple lists, though, so it's gotta be. Maybe there's another game called... I don't know.
Mars.
But...
When we left our home, it seems surreal.
According to this, Amazon's gonna give us terraformers.
Our mission? Establish a
Which...
colony.
Okay? But you think this would be a headliner? It's a brand new game that only properly came out last month. If this game is included in the Amazon games this time round, that is amazing. Now, I can use this time to give some final opinions on Terraformers as well, because obviously I did go through and play it. I did go through and play it quite a lot because I was actually quite enjoying it quite a lot. It should be said, it gets way too difficult way too quickly. You can earn XP in the sandbox sections. That's fine, but it does have some serious limitations in terms of late game play. You may find yourself wanting to cheat, using cheat engine to get slightly more. Like the idea of being this late game and somehow having 105 plus on your thing, it's just, it's not gonna happen. The game does not give you enough support. It does not give you enough approval to actually do the things it says it does, at least not in the higher difficulties. So while the game is fun, very fun, and I had a great time with it, I did find myself, unfortunately, having to give myself a bit of an easier go of some of the scenarios. I've unlocked everything, and I still want more. So realistically, if this game comes out, I would say that realistically, you'll probably want to buy it on Steam anyway eventually. If it keeps coming out, if it ever comes out with more patches or more expansion packs, having it on Amazon is going to be quite limiting. So it is possible they did it as sort of a, you should buy this eventually sort of dealio. Like a little first hit before they open the floodgates. But seriously, this is a brand new game. I would be very unsurprised if this game ended up not being included on Amazon and it was instead something with a similar name that was like only released on a console or something. Talking about things I was a little bit surprised about. Now, once again, I'm pretty certain this is one I've already gotten from Amazon already. However, I've got a lot of Metal Slug games from Amazon at this point. This one is not on Steam at all. The first three are. This one's not. So, yay. In fact, for the next two games, I can only really find them on Google Play, of all things, which is rather silly. Next one is Ninja Masters. Similar deal, but apparently it's a mobile game that they're bringing to PC. I kind of don't have any problems with this. Like, if they want to start bringing some crappy mobile games to PC, I'm fully in support of that, because I don't want this crap on Steam, but I do feel like having as many like free and not full of in-app purchased mobile games is probably a good thing. Only a couple left now though, and the next one is Grime, a Metroidvania action RPG platformer, which I am once again going to suck at. But beautiful world, interesting aesthetic, gives me a sort of almost a vibe of Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey in some ways, but more modern. I'd say it's definitely a positive pickup, especially for the price on Steam, but like, this is a really weird set of games. And really just adding to the weird set of games is apparently going to be Sengoku. Sengoku is about being a feudal lord, because why not? It's apparently a Paradox game that I've never really heard about. I know Paradox makes a lot of grand strategies, and I know that because I suck at them. Except for Stellaris. I'm okay at Stellaris, but that's a different sort of game altogether, because you sort of start with a lot of empty space around you. I'd love to see Paradox do something similar. Like you start out of, say, Africa and have to like migrate around the globe while dealing with like geopolitics. Like completely recreate a world from scratch. In fact, hey, do that, but have an empty world. You need to do a future one, actually, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, I would love to see a Paradox interactive designed version of Alpha Centauri. That would be fun. Because one of my biggest problems with this sort of game is, as much as I like them in theory, in practice you get given a massive empire and basically get given the keys to the car, and that's it. Like, you get the way to drive it, but that's the limit. You just don't know what to do at that point. You can press all the buttons if you'd like, but it's really hard to get into it. I'd love someone to one day just sit me down and be like, this is Hearts of Iron 4. Let's actually get you to have some fun here. As it stands, I'm still like really tempted one day just to play a Paradox game and cheat the living bejesus out of it so I can actually have a good time with it until I can learn my way. But that's okay. And finally, the last game that's apparently coming out, though second last technically, there was a Looking for Aliens Legacy Games code that I didn't really care to share. Another Neo Geo game. So many of them. Interesting art style. Once again, it's giving me sort of Hocus Pocus vibes almost, but that's okay. All right, bundles time, and starting with the one I really don't care for is the Scary Games to Play in the Dark bundle, also known as a great example of something I will never buy. So, not planning on buying this. And thankfully, none of my friends have bought it for me as a present either, so I don't need to claim it. I do claim things I get given as presents, but thankfully no one has even considered giving me this horrible looking bundle. Then we have the Bigger and Boomer Shooter bundle. Now, I am tempted by this one. I haven't bought it yet, I don't think. But the games don't really grab me as like a super boomer shootery thing. And I already own like 3 of them. So I'm thinking skipping this one's not bad for me. But, you know. And finally, the one I did buy is the Best of Survivors like. It was a relatively middling bundle, but had a bunch of Vampire Survivors style games in it, which I found was quite interesting. I feel like realistically having these games might just be a good idea because realistically, Vampire Survivors was good due to its progression. There wasn't anything overly special that made it like any better than like a simple congregate Flash game. So a whole bundle of them I'll take a whole bundle of clones. Price was fairly right too, with only $11.96 for all 8 of the items. So that's nice. See, seriously, like the difference between this, like 59 cents at $11 and 5 times more, you get less than 5 times the value to the charity. Make sure if you ever do decide to back above the point, that you give a custom amount and give more to charity. If you're ever doing it just for charity, you don't need to give 0 to the publishers. But oh wow, this is. Excuse me. What if I just want to give it to the publishers? Yeah. See. Okay. I understand Humble needs their money too, but seriously, the idea that the default split is only $2.50 at this $50 level, that's just not right. That's not right. Wait, what? This is back? It disappeared before I even had a chance to buy it. Now it's back. I'm gonna have to buy it again, although it's a weird bundle. Fanatical bundles time. The first one is the Discovery bundle, which was briefly delisted apparently, so they must have ran out of keys. The only one here of real interest to me is the Eternal Edge Plus, because, I mean, I like role-playing games. I've obviously also played Double Kick Heroes. I believe I did that as a video at one point or another, so that one's quite nice. Everything else here is kind of like I don't really have any desire to play Master Pliny, and I always found the Smurfs relatively creepy. But, you know, it's a bundle, it exists. I will probably buy it, especially for only $7. That's pretty reasonable. Next one is the Diamond Collection. Now, this is generally where they put their best, if a little bit expensive games. Make sure you check that your particular collection of games is the lowest price. Like, there's no point buying bundled games that do not represent the lowest price. This is not Humble. You can afford to be a little bit cheap. So as for the games in this bundle, I actually thought it was a pretty good combination. Like Rogue Lords is fairly fun, Encased is fairly fun. RFL is one that I still wish someone requested so I could play more of it. I'm going to play more of it at my own time eventually, but you know, you got to think about it again. And RFL actually, despite being a bloody RPG Maker game, was actually really good, and I'm kind of shocked by how good it was. I should play more just in general. That's Coromon. Sorry, RFL. Oh, there it is. It was actually really good, and I'm not sure why it was so good. It had no business being this good. Okay, it's just a bloody RPG Maker game. I did buy this so I bought Sir Whoopass, Dice Legacy, Aground, the Escape Room Bundle, and Golfy, I believe, is what I got. Now you might be like, wait, why'd you buy those? It's like not the best stuff in the bundle. It's like, no, but I own the rest. And I'm not going to buy the Evil Within 2. Come on. Or 1. Come on. Coromon, meant to be pretty good. Dice Legacy was on my wish list, had to buy it. So yeah, pretty decent selection, all things considered. Also just bought City of Gangsters recently for like dollars on a cent on a dollar. So that was nice too. But no, it's a decent bundle, this Platinum Bundle. Next one is the PlayOnGo Bundle. Now this one is relatively, these ones are relatively mixed in terms of whether they're good or bad. There's a few games here that I can highlight for you though. Obviously Gone Home invented the walking sim genre and did a pretty good job of creating a like just an aesthetic. It's basically a coming of age story, but it definitely feels almost like a horror game, which yeah. 1980X, sorry. This is a game just based in the 80s arcade culture. It is very short. Just for record, it is incredibly short. I backed it on Kickstarter. There is apparently meant to be a second version coming out, which is probably why it's included in a bundle right now. Obviously, Riptide, it's not as good as the original Dead Island, but it's Dead Island. PC Building Simulator, it's not as good as building a real PC, but it's okay. And YouTuber's Life, if you've never played YouTuber's Life 1, it is an absolute surprise to me. Like, YouTuber's Life 1, I expect it to be, like, a complete and total and utter, like, nothing burger. Like, I thought it was just going to be, like, a streamer bait, etc. But it was actually really quite good. I still need to play more of this game myself because not only does it offer you the one or two paths you may actually be doing in real life, like gaming or whatever, or cooking, it actually offers a bunch of different options. And it sort of gives me Cariosoft vibes in that you are a manager of, well, a YouTuber. And you can go through and every single channel type has slightly different gameplay. Like the gaming channel will have slightly different than the fashion channel, have slightly different than the cooking channel, and so on and so forth. The music channel. So yeah, it's fun. I sort of want to go back and play it again sometime. But yeah, it's a Cariosoft style game, which is pretty fun. Apart from that, though, this is a pretty good bundle. So yay. Then we have the No Mercy bundle. I think I bought this one too, just for Book of Demons and to get a Steam copy of For the King. Obviously, there is a video of For the King on the channel. I've played that before, and from memory, I had a fairly good time of it. I will look forward to playing it again when it comes. When I get. Well, I mean, I can just play it whenever. It's just not going to come up on my mountain again. It's just, yeah, I'll just play it again sometime. When I feel like it. The good thing is about doing this, I just make a big long list of games I actually enjoyed, and then I've been going back randomly and playing them. Now, the last two are bundles you really need to jump on if you want them because they're about to be replaced. So the first one is the Build Your Own Saga bundle. This one is okay. So the Build Your Own Saga bundle is essentially well, it's a saga. It's got a bunch of random stuff in here. So, like, I don't know. I don't think I ended up buying this one. It didn't really highlight any fantastic games for me. I don't really see much point in it, but it is leaving soon. Comes up with what appears to be another. It's not. It still feels another RPG Maker game there, but I'm not sure. Everything else though, everything there seems a little bit, And finally, we have the Platinum Bundle. Now, this is usually the highlight of the bundles on Fanatical, okay? So, the Fanatical Platinum Collection is only released once a month. The next one for April is about to start in a couple of days' time, which should be good. Highlights from this one include Love Esquire, fantastic dating sim. It's mostly voice acted and has a fairly good cast of characters. Can definitely say Love Esquire, beautiful. Obviously, To the Moon, A Bird Story, Finding Paradise, fantastic games. Imposter Factory still haven't played yet. Hopefully, play it with Power at some point. Game Deck, Game Detective. Another one I backed on Kickstarter. Quite a good game. Lake has always been one that's been on my wish list. Perfect Gold, another Kickstarter game I backed. The Letter, I think I played that on my channel at some point. Wasn't a big fan. And then a bunch of other random stuff. It's quite a good combination of games, honestly. And I'm looking forward to the next one. So make sure you check out in another day and 19 hours and 54 minutes and 1 second, or however long. Now you can see how long it'll be until I actually start again, but that's fine. So yeah, overall, April seems to be a fairly good month for gaming. Can confirm. So if you like what you saw here, well, I'll put links in the description down below to at least Humble and Amazon Prime. But otherwise, what do you guys think? Is this a good bundle for you? Do you own all the games? Do you own none of the games? Are you excited about the random selection of Amazon games that are out there? How about the bundles? Are there any I missed? Any bundles you would personally like me to spotlight? Any websites you think are worth a go to look at? Anyway, thank you for joining me. This has been my Eruption of Shame, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!